Welcome to Vibrant Living Conversations. I'm your host, Gemma Pudding. As a life coach to midlife mamas and women, I'm excited to bring these conversations from North Idaho and across this region to support you on your journey to vibrant living, glowing from the inside out, fully living in your own true to you power. Welcome to Vibrant Living Conversations. I'm your host, Gemma Pudding. For this interview, I am talking with Stacia, founder and director of Compass Rose in Spokane Valley. I was drawn to Compass Rose via Google to take some advanced Reiki. And yet since meeting Stacia, my world has, and universe for that matter, has been cracked open to various forms of energy healing, including magnified healing, angelic Reiki, archetypal cards to understand my sacred contract, and so much more. I leave my visits with Stacia feeling like I got to spend time in a different dimension with magical powers that I am working on understanding and connecting with more and more. So needless to say that I'm so honored to have Stacia here today to learn more about her journey and coming to heal so many people, mind, body, soul. So welcome, Stacia. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Gemma. Thank you for those kind words. Thank you.
Yes, let's dive in. So we could talk all day long. I know we could, but let's start with you sharing the high level highlights of how you came to owning Compass Rose.
That could be a really long answer. I will start by saying I still, to this day, Gemma, do not feel like I own Compass Rose. I am the founder. I am the director. I am responsible here, but it really is community. And it is a space and a place and a vortex embodied here in Spokane Valley, of all places, in parentheses, I say that, so that I can meet and greet people on their path of awakening. I don't work alone, work with angels and masters and source and so much. And I work with them and for them and they with me. So to answer your question, Compass Rose was founded really out of the back of my car beginning in 2005 when I jumped a bad ship, got back on my feet and was teaching nuns of right here in Spokane, sacred contracts. And I would do healing work for people who just needed, I was able to find my craft, refine my craft, help people. So I started out of the trunk of my car and I started teaching nuns about their archetypal journey and what their purpose in life was. And that's how I started. That's been a long time. So I went from there to renting space, to renting an office, to a long lease in the valley, to I bought a building because I wanted Compass Rose to have a permanent home where people could come, healers could come, community could be here, and we could all grow. So yes, I'm the owner, according to the corporate offices and those who collect taxes. But it really is a part of all of us. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, I've never felt like an owner. I just feel responsible in a good way. And I look at the word responsible as the ability to respond. So it's a very creative thing.
Yeah, I love that. I'm curious about, so you said you started out of the trunk of your car. Was there a point, because you've told me various stories, but was there a point like earlier on in life where you just knew that this was your calling to do healing, to start learning even about archetype cards and sacred contracts? And when did all of that really start to come together and you see that as like your life purpose?
I have always, and the word always leads to archetype. Archetype is a stream of consciousness. I've always been a healer.
Okay.
I ended up in the medical field, never intended to train to do certain things, working for MDs. And pretty soon I was hands-on with procedures or blood draws and people preferred me. So I had a touch, I always have had a touch, an intuitive touch. I would say that around 1998, 1997, and this was when I was over in Tigard, Oregon, and I was not in the best of situations, but I considered it good curriculum, hindsight. Okay. Yeah. And I saw Carolyn's book on a bookstore. I think it was Borders. I don't remember. And I floated towards it and I picked it up and it was a life jacket and it changed my world. And studying with Carolyn Mace changed my world. I very quickly learned that it was a beautiful stepping stone, for which I'm really grateful, because I was able to acknowledge traits and characteristics and gifts and skills that I have through that study.
What was that book? What was the first book you picked up of hers?
Well, I had read a few before that, but the one I'm referring to is Sacred Contracts, to Discover Your Divine Potential. So I still have one of the original copies of that. So I studied and I studied and I studied, and I was able to really understand that I am a healer. I've
Yeah.
always been a healer, always very careful how to say that.
Right.
I never took that for granted. I never wanted to run it through an ego. I never wanted to boast. I'm a healer.
Yeah.
I could teach sacred contracts to a dozen people, and half of them or more would resonate with the healer archetype, but they would always fill out that cookie cutter, if you will, or decorate that cookie in their own specific way. So there are many flavors, many ways people present as healers. There are healers in accounting offices and law offices where we need help all across the board. So I'm a healer. I'm an intuitive empathic healer. And that study really helped me to accept that and refine it. And so I was offering Reiki in people's homes or in an acupuncturist office. But I literally carried a Reiki table in my trunk for quite a long time.
Amazing.
Quite a long time. So when did I realize it was my calling? Is that your real question?
Yeah.
Man alive. Here's the truth of this, okay? I knew it was my calling, but define calling. And I think for everybody, if everybody realizes that calling changes, the definition of your calling is going to evolve as you do.
Yeah.
So I understood in 2005, I'm a healer. I understood in 2009, I would teach people the modalities. I came to understand later on, as life went on, that I'm a guide and a mentor. And I channel source healing. And I am a very grounded, non-new age healer in an office that is very professionally positioned.
Right.
And I meet people where they're at. So my calling is to evolve along with humanity. My calling is to evolve along with you and meet you each time I see you where you're at.
Right.
And what are we going to do today? And what is the intention today? I can't have one package.
Yeah.
Everything is going to be fine-tuned intuitively. So always been a healer, always been a healer. I mean, not just in this life, but I brought this forward. And I'm very much on task and on purpose to assist people in their awakening, greet them with their cosmic coffee, help them through their awakening process to feel normal, support, mentor, and guide them according to their destiny.
Yeah.
Until they're ready to move on to someone else. But I've worked with a lot of people since 2010.
When you did your sacred contracts for yourself and sacred contracts, do you want to explain that a little bit? Give your like elevator pitch on what sacred contracts, because we're talking a lot like archetypes, sacred contracts, which I'm sure a lot of my listeners and even some of my clients would be like, wait, what are you talking about? Do you want to give us a little synopsis of both of those?
So I hadn't understood that word until I started taking the trainings and teachings. I went back and forth to Chicago with Carolyn's teachings for quite a long time. We are all here with a purpose. You are your greatest teacher. I am my own teacher. We teach one another. And I learned from the masters in the angelic realm. Contracts was a way for me to develop communication. And it's a way for the people I work with to develop communication between themselves and their higher self. Code, if you will. This is how we're going to talk. This is how you're going to guide me. So it became language. It became a map for me. There's a piece of it that is astrology. So I can say to you that I learned without a doubt about my healer energy. It's in the 11th house, which is relationship to the world. So I knew I was on track. That's what I would do. That gave me permission to proceed. That gave me permission to refine it through whatever means I could. It's been a daily focus and discipline for me ever since. Does that answer that for you?
Yeah, no, that's amazing. Have you worked with people that have identified as, say, a healer, but when you've gone through sacred contracts with them, it's popped up as something else? And is it that? Because for me, like when I went through sacred contracts with you, and you're like, you are a healing gemmer, it did resonate on a very like deep level, but I'd never used that terminology. Or obviously I'd been drawn to gut health and I'd been drawn to life coaching, which is, and then Reiki, which is all versions of healing. But when I went through that with you, it was very confirming for me. And I'm just curious, I'm sure there are people living out there like doing their thing, but then do sacred contracts. And it's just such an aha that they're like, I'm doing this, but I'm actually supposed to be like 180 over here. Have you?
It's a process of discovery and a foundation for building your life.
Okay.
Everyone has a
Right.
contract with their soul group, a contract with individuals, a contract with the world.
Right.
We all do. In all the years, it's been 18 years, and that's the one modality in my practice here that I've never benched.
Really?
Okay. I don't do it in training in classes anymore. I do them one-on-one. Sacred Contracts is always one-on-one now. I don't train it that way anymore. It's to give you the tools to communicate with your higher self, to plot out your life according to your gifts and your skills and your archetypal always conscious patterns, and to guide you and direct you. It's also a tool for healing. So if you resonate with a survivor archetype, which might be wounded child, your task is to heal that.
That makes sense.
You get to heal that. You get to find out. And so depending on where it lands, that's going to be how I work with a client to guide them through, mentor them through the healing of that, because it didn't happen just in the past. It's still happening because they're still living it. So we can get to it very, very quickly and heal it. Other parts of that are, and I'm working with a woman who very much carried the nun archetype, in her opinion. It was the nun. She's got the nun energy. Okay. She would dress it, and she always wanted to go live in a monastery and become a nun. I said, no, you've got the judge archetype. And the beautiful part about that is she's an attorney.
Oh, perfect.
She's an advocate for women. And so we were able to understand that, piece that, and weave that together. Here is where you are today with your teaching and your training and your credentials. And you've always wanted to, and you had that one experience, and this explains it, and this is where you're going to go. It really is a map, Jenna. Oh, it's a tool for healing. It's a tool to communicate with your higher self. It'll develop your intuition, and it'll take you forward to meet your divine potential. As a coach and a mentor and a guide, that's what I do. I help them to achieve that. As an intuitive, I'm able to guide them through to understand their always patterns and guide them through it.
So powerful. And most people that are drawn to you are probably coming for confirmation or to get rid of or to do some healing, or because they're feeling like they're in one direction, but they're feeling called to the other to even get some clarity. It's probably one of their calling is some part of their,
They're starting to break away from family traditions, the family party line, or coming out of a painful relationship, or ready to just not work here, but to be that.
Right.
They're ready. They don't know for what. There isn't a handbook for this. There's a contract, but there's not a handbook. We arrive through the portal of our mother. We arrive on this planet to forget where we came from and who we are. It's a difficult path, but we arrive with our spiritual backpack full of the karmic things that we want to bring out and heal.
Amazing.
My passion was always heal on this side of heaven. Because when you get there, there's good advanced training. You don't want to work on this stuff or come back and do it again. Let's heal it here. Yeah. It's always been a passion of mine, and that's what I do.
Awesome.
That's the basis for Compass Rose. That's how I started it. I wanted to help people heal. I also had seen in the healthcare community how backwards it was becoming. So to provide means to heal became very, very important. So if you want to know what your purpose is, it's your passion. Yeah. What is your passion that gets you to your knees?
Yeah.
I've got to help. And mine was the medical and pharmaceutical companies. And having worked in that for a number of years and managed that and had the administrative training and the public speaking training, I could apply that to the natural skills that I have as a healer. Right. And serve others.
Well, we tend to overcomplicate things, right? We like our purpose sounds so, I don't know. And people kind of like, for me, I've had people just phase over like, I don't know what my purpose is. I just need to focus on paying my bills and living in this world. And I'm like, but like you're saying right there, it's like fun. Like think back to even when you were a child, like what lit you up? What were you really drawn to? What like makes your heart sing? What feels natural to you? And the Sacred Contracts helps support that and give you a little direction. And also, like you said, that very important part of we all have healing and we all have things from our root chakra development on this planet with our families, with our tribe that maybe doesn't resonate, and we need to either heal it or release it or detach from it or whatever it is. And this, I love that map is such a good word of, and meeting you where you are right now, because I think just before this conversation, you and I were talking about there's just a lot going on, and each chapter of life calls for something different. So continuing, obviously, you're continuing to come back to this as your connection with source, mapping out what's needed. So powerful.
So my calling today
Yeah.
is based on what I understand today and the refinement I have attained, the information I have gained. And where that comes from is important, and we can talk about that if you want to.
Yes, please.
My calling could look very different a year from now, depending on the choices I make, the skills I gain, or those that I have that I refine. And I work towards that every day, every day.
What do you mean by that? You mean as far as focusing on things that you're being guided to, like with the angelic Reiki, that was a 3-day training. Now you're like, I'm not being guided to do that anymore. We're pivoting, we're shifting compass rose to a new direction because that's where you're being guided to. And that's where the calling is feeling for where the world is now, where the universe is now. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Mm-hmm. I'm an Aries. I have a very good mind. I have the queen energy, archetypally speaking. I know how to direct. I know how to, boom, I know how to do that.
Right.
And recently I said, I haven't figured that out yet. When a mentoring client asked me a specific question about a training, I said, I haven't figured that out yet. And very, very quickly, guidance came through and said, just wait for instruction. And I took that like to the bank. Cool. So I don't have to figure it out. You're going to guide me. That is why I can't say for sure what my calling is going to be in a year. Because I'm paying attention and taking notes, and life is changing very quickly. And my calling is going to depend on my gifts and skills and how I refine them. I notice a lot of healers, this is not judgment, this is just an observation. A lot of healers are doing exactly what they did 10 years ago. And they haven't moved. Exactly what they did. We're not meeting the universe where the universe is taking us. We're not tuned into the guidance of the masters who are saying, wait a minute, humanity is waking up. This is how we need to greet them. This is how we will light them up. So to answer you, to follow up what you said, we don't need 3 days in a classroom,
right,
to be attuned to Reiki. I've been teaching and training Reiki in different modalities for years and years and never intended to. But I did it and I enjoyed it. But I also learned that very few people really were able to take that and run with it.
Okay.
Mothers, wives, professional people, soccer tournaments, whatever they had to do. So the guidance here that we're getting is that's life. That's what we're doing. And so what we really need to do is light up as many people as we can, assist them in raising their conscious awareness and their vibration. So they are a living, walking, talking temple of light. And they're standing next to somebody in the grocery store or on the soccer field. And their energy helps to awaken that person they're standing next to. They don't need to put their hands on somebody. They don't need to do that every day. They don't need to do that. That energy, those attunements, those alignments, all of that is for their benefit. And then they can benefit the world with their light. That's what I was guided to do. And so when I said no more 3-day seminars, we don't need to sit and read a manual. I just need to light you up. Please be out there as a lighthouse. Please. All we need. It's all we need. If you want more, I can do that. But that's really what I'm guided to do.
Amazing. Amazing. Do you want to talk about the shift in just even, I'm trying to think how hippy dippy, freaky juju is what someone told me the other day. I'm trying to think what level we want to go into. But I think even in that piece, going from, was it the Piscean age to the Aquarian age? Or did I mess that up? Where are we now?
We're in the Aquarian age.
Yes.
We're going from the 7th ray of influence and support into the 8th ray.
Okay.
And that's going to be led by Lady Master Kuan Yin, Lao Tzu, Dwal Kul. And we're all guided and led towards self-compassion and compassion for others.
Amazing.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
Well, and even now the
so
Earth
yes,
is
there is the
vibrating
Aquarian
higher,
age,
right?
but there's more. The Aquarian age it's universal. It's where we're at. But now what do we do with that now that we've arrived here?
Yeah.
We're here. Okay.
Right.
What's my role? What's your role? What's her role? What's his role? Many are called.
Yeah.
Few choose the path. We need more to choose that path and
Why
make it a
is that?
personal path. Pardon me?
Why is that, in your opinion? Few choose the path. Busyness? connection with earthly things? What is it, do you think?
So I finally got to answer that question for myself, because I've asked that for years, because this has been a daily discipline and a priority for me for so many years. And I was invited to participate in some teachings and trainings, and something that is very, very, very big, great, big, huge, wonderful. And I just stood back and said, oh my gosh. I mean, it was like I had been introduced to a level of empowerment that might take me up and out of where I am now, not off the planet, because trust me,
Right.
you're going to keep me here. I was facing empowerment that could cost me relationships or lifestyle. And I go, oh, this is what people feel. This is why they say no. My husband wouldn't like it. My parents would think I was nuts. And so what did I do? On my way doing the work.
Yeah.
So why don't people do it? A fear of self-empowerment, breaking away from tribal traditions, the time that it takes, it's a leg on your altar. They work on mental, emotional, and physical, but very few people really prioritize that spiritual leg of the altar.
Right.
For me, it's a priority. It's a big step. We're not in a culture where we are really encouraged to do this every day, but Sunday for a couple of hours. I mean, that was how it went.
Yeah. No.
So it's that. Yeah, I just think it's that. It's just not been a priority. But I think in the next 20 years, with the influence that is going to be coming in and pouring into humanity and to heal and preserve this earth, they're going to start waking up.
Well, and it's easy for me to ask that. Yeah. But it's funny because you've been mentoring me through it myself, and being like, I have 2 young children and I need to pay my bills, and life is very full and rich, but it's not missing the spiritual piece, but that's where I'm moving and like wanting to move towards, but being, I don't want to use the word stuck, because I love like the earthly elements of my life, but I can feel myself being like, all of this needs to be taken care of on a daily basis. This can feel like an option sometimes, spirituality and ascension, even though ultimately for me it's not. And you've helped me to come back to that. Is like, and my heart is like feeling it, right? This is not really an option on this life. Like, this is your calling. Like, you're being called to empower women, help people heal. So it feels like, oh, well, I'm here and it's easy and I have a job that pays my bills. And this is a lot of work and like you're in a daily commitment, like you're saying. But when it boils down to it, what do you want my life to, what do I want my life to be? I want my life to be like, I followed my heart. I didn't stay where it was comfortable and easy, because I'll figure it out. Like for me, my passion is to heal and learn more and grow and become more spiritually connected and intuitive. But I have to remind myself that when I'm in like the thickness of the day to day, like the kid needs a drink and blah, 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 and the car broke down and, So.
Exactly. But you said some of the things that most people say.
I bet.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And you were also in the I mode.
Mm.
And so to be a part of the we collective consciousness that includes the guides, those that know your contract, even the ascended masters that want to work with you and you with them, they'll handle the details.
Yay.
So
that's so liberating.
That contract that we're talking about includes one with, if you've chosen that, and if you've chosen to follow that, they're with you all the time. All the time. When I asked about this 4-week opportunity that would be great, big, huge, and a commitment and a time commitment, I said out loud, am I ready? And the answer I got was, we know you.
Love that.
Yeah.
Come along. They're like, yes.
So you don't have to figure it out. Wait for instruction. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're raising humans. Thank you. For all the women and men that are raising little kids, raise them to know that they're divine beings.
Yeah.
Raise them to know that this is how we can address and embrace and take care of our emotions today.
Right.
Are those your emotions, or is that your friend at school that's bothering you? What's going on? We can teach kids that, and you can do that. Please do. Raise some good humans, please.
Yes, yes, I will certainly try. I love that.
I don't have to do that. I got that done.
You've already done that. Yes. Check.
Oh, yeah. Check.
I'm curious, you mentioned your daily commitment and practice. Would
Mhm.
you mind elaborating on that? What does that look like for you, your daily commitment and practice?
I am very, very, very blessed to be at a point in my life where my responsibilities in the morning are four-legged.
Mm.
So I can take care of that, and then I can go into my space at home, which is beautifully, it's got an essence and an ambiance, which is crystals and light and candles and a communication portal. And I'm able to sit in that space, receive instruction, or just rest in it. That means of communication between me and the masters and me, that goes two ways. And I was encouraged one day, don't even meditate, just lay there, let me heal you. And so I did that. So my practice is to show up, be there. And if nothing happens, because it's okay, I showed up.
Love that.
It's okay. But I do work with the violet flame. I do work with the teachings of the ascended masters. My priority is my ascension. My priority is to continue to develop my skills and my levels of consciousness so that I can serve.
And you
so
do that.
it makes it easy
You're
to.
constantly learning, right? You're constantly
Oh,
doing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I pulled my car into the driveway on Friday and I didn't pull it out of the garage until Monday morning.
Really?
That's probably the first time I've ever done that, ever.
Really?
So yes, because I was going to sit home all weekend and immerse myself in this energy, in this space that I am blessed with, and do some work around that, and just become more and more whole.
Was it amazing? How was your
Yeah.
weekend? Yeah,
it was great. Then it was Monday.
Yeah. Whoa, back to the world.
Put the dogs in the car. We got to go. Yeah. It's not work for me. It's a discipline, and maybe people get stuck on the word discipline. But are we disciples of? Were we disciples of? A long time ago. Maybe we need another word.
Yeah, they do put a negative connotation with discipline, right?
Yeah, that was handy, huh? Which is so important. So I am quiet every day. I do a lot of study. I do a lot of reading. Like I said, I'm very intent on ascension. I heard somebody say, it was on TikTok. I was just sitting there with a few minutes, and this guy said, "What is your priority?" And it was a very interesting question, because he said most people respond according to their history, their human experience, to avoid pitfalls, to avoid pain. Their priority is. What is your priority? It's put on your own oxygen mask first. Take care of yourself, please. Raise good humans. Do your work. Enjoy your path. Try not to struggle. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned Caroline Mace. I read one of the first books that I read of hers was The Anatomy of the Spirit, I want to say it was called. So powerful, and also very much propelled me on this journey that I'm on. Are there other teachers, people that you've worked with, modalities other than sacred contracts, obviously, that have really guided your direction, just lit you up, given you ahas in awesome ways?
The modality, which is magnified healing, did that for me.
Okay.
Because that's a very sacred connection to Lady Master Kuan Yin.
Yeah.
To other ascended masters in the angelic realm. It's a multidimensional tool for healing. That one lit me up. That one changed my world. I will always encourage everybody to understand that there are plenty of sources out there and resources, and you're going to gain from it according to where you are on your path at that moment. One of the most important books I've ever read sat on my bookshelf for 5 years. And then I finally took it down in the most amazing, perfect training or timing. And that was a woman named Claire Hartsong, who channeled Grandmother Anna, grandmother to Jesus or Yeshua. Yeah, that changed my world. That really confirmed and affirmed who I am, and a lot of truth. I am my best teacher. You are your best teacher. Your body is your teacher. Your life is your teacher. How you use your free will is your teacher. We make the mistake of externalizing and believing that somebody knows better than you or we do. And yes, there are guides and there are mentors. There's absolutely that.
Right.
So my life is my teacher.
Yeah.
Every time I teach a class, or we would teach a class here at Compass Rose, we would come away having learned something new.
Yeah. I love that.
Either that was channeled to us or through the eyes of a student.
Okay.
So I learn every day here working with people on their path. And
Love
then
that.
truly the ascended master realm and the angelic realm, they are my greatest teachers.
I love that. And trusting what you're being called to, right? Because it's asking you what your path was, talking to other people about their paths was, but then going to Borders or Barnes and Noble and what books are like speaking to you, which ones are jumping off the shelf, or which ones have been sitting on your own bookshelf for 5 years. I read The Power of Now probably about 5 years after my girlfriend first gave it to me. And because at first I'd started it and it didn't resonate. And then I just put it on the bookshelf. And then when I did read it, it was very powerful for me. So I love that. It's trusting your intuition. Where are you being called to learn? And even Reiki for me, I honestly hadn't had a great Reiki experience. But then during COVID, I did a Reiki session or training. And then I was searching around. And that's how I found you. Like, you popped up, and I mean, I feel like the first time I came to see you, you're like, why did you come out here? There has to be some people in Spokane or in Coeur d'Alene. I don't know. You just called out, and I knew that you were the place I needed to go to. And that led me from instead Reiki, which is more, or Usui Reiki, which is more masculine, to angelic Reiki, which is more feminine. And this whole other, I didn't even know what angelic Reiki was until I came to find you, and again, go on this whole path. And that was really from a Google search, like a whim of being like, I have to do this. And here I am talking to you however many years later, you know, like world cracked open.
Reiki is a term that people understand and it means something. Okay. Boom. That's what it means. I channel source. Reiki is called a universal life force energy. It's source. Reiki is a 3-day training times this level, times that level, times that level. So it's an educational process with some attunements. But as a lighthouse, attuned to and carrying a consciousness and a vibratory presence, you can channel source and heal in that way.
I love that.
So a lot of people get hung up on, I need a Reiki healer. Well, what you need is somebody who can channel source for you. Choose your healers carefully. I've always told people that.
Yeah.
Choose your healers carefully and stay out of group sessions. Choose your healers carefully because you want to work with someone who's tied to and clear and can be that venue for source to work through you as you.
Powerful.
Sometime I'll invite source to work through me as you, work through me as me. What is it we need to do here today? Sometimes I'm holding the space and they say, step aside and I'll do this, but that's source healing. So rather than a name, which in some places is trademarked or results in a certificate and a manual, and we all feel good about that because we do college and we do school, and that means we're academic and really smart. Yeah. But to really get to a point with these healing modalities that you are a being of light and a transformer of light, you don't need to spend a weekend in a classroom.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yes, but it really, really comes down to you resonating with that energy that wants to work through you. Not a manual and some teaching. And I don't mean to belittle that. It worked for humanity for a long time. But as humanity evolves, now we evolve into what's available to us. And what's being made available to humanity is done so because we're evolving and we're supposed to evolve. So let's step up and take that instruction.
Yeah.
Let's stop making it such a brain project and let's make it soul work.
I love that. I love that you finding that, because I think I had said at one point, it's not about me. You're like, it is about you. People are going to find me as a healer. They're going to connect with me on an earthly, they're going to trust me. And then I'm going to work
with source to heal them in a way that no one else will, because of course it's me. Like no one
It's
else is
you.
like me. I've got my own little take on it. And
You're the
so,
flavor of Gemma.
yeah, yes, the flavor. That's right.
It's
I love
Baskin
that.
Robbins. Yeah. It's exactly what it
Yes,
is.
I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. So let's not make it so complicated. Let's not make it about, it's just, we just don't want to do that. So I've really been called and instructed to do this in a different way.
I love that so much. And not
it's working.
egotistical. I think, like you said, like watching my practitioners live the life that they're saying they're living, right? So that you can see they're connected to source. You can see they're a lighthouse. And then they're the people that I want to work with, rather than I've done some Googling in the past and it hasn't worked out so great. I'm like, I'm like, wait, this isn't, you meet the person and they're just, like you said, they're more living from up here. They've done the brain work. They've gone to the class. They've got the certificate on the wall, but it's not the same kind of experience. So
I did a healing on a woman here. It was her very first session. And she came in, did some body work on her. We did an intake, listened intuitively, got her on the table and started. And that's just, that's gaining insight and where are you and what is your energy and how am I going to serve you? At the end of that session, and after I left her alone to integrate for a while, I came back in and she sat up and she said, I've always been a healer. And if I'd had pom-poms, I would have used them. And I said, you go, girl. You go, girl. I mean, that's what she said when she sat up. And it was like, I'm here to celebrate that. Let's go.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Beautiful. That's what I want to hear from people.
I love that.
And it is you and it is me, because we have done the work to refine. The Ascended Masters didn't get where they are reading a manual.
Right.
They got there through discipline and through practice and working with other gurus. I mean, they didn't have they just didn't. I heard today you have to be with the Violet Flame for 2 years to be able to do this practice. Okay.
Here I am.
Yeah. And so, okay.
Yeah.
That, I don't want to use the word qualified, but that prepares you for that energy. I asked Metatron one day, what do you need me for? Get in there and do a healing on that person. He taught me the hard way. And it's okay. But the reason we're necessary and the reason why it is you, Gemma, and it is me, is because I can't send you into my treatment room and say, just lay down there, pull a sheet up over you and the angels will be in and I'll see you at the end. You'd walk out the door.
Right.
You having the human experience needs to connect with another human.
Yeah.
With your free will agency and your 5 senses to say, yes, this is what I want.
Yeah.
This is what I consent to, and this is what I will allow. And then your higher self is there to help direct that. And then from there, an intention that we agree upon so the universe can listen and know how to serve you.
Love that.
So that's why we're here. We're transformers of that energy.
Okay. Well, and we
because
also bring
Archangel Metatron came in here and said, here, let me blow you up.
I
found out.
I can't handle it.
No, I found out. Yeah.
When we bring that physical perspective, I think you'd also said like just a big hug from like a life coach perspective, from a mentor perspective, being able, when someone comes in and they are just struggling, it's not just about the energy healing, but then taking that and relating it to the real world so people can go, bringing the conscious to it. I think is the terms that you used and I loved, bringing the conscious to it. Like, how are you living your daily life? How are you nourishing your body? Who are the relationships that you're in? What kind of job are you working? And what factors are playing into aligning or unaligning, or the toxicity that's in your life, whatever it is, so that when people are leaving the table, they're healed, but then they've got like a conscious aspect that they need to get out of that relationship or heal that relationship or find a new job or whatever it is. So it's bringing the multi aspects together, from spirituality to earth realm.
And what you just described takes good old linear time. There are healings in an instance, and there are very profound healings that take place in here, but that may be just a layer.
Yeah.
That may be just a lifetime. I've worked with plenty of women in destructive and abusive relationships. I'm
Okay.
very, very gentle about that. It might be 2 years before they walk out.
Right. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done there,
A
right?
lot of empowerment and healing. Oh yeah. So
Sure.
it takes conscious commitment to self to get that work done, and a good supportive healer, mentor, guide, coach to assist. And when I say that, I mean, I've lived, trust me, I've lived. I've got my own human resume qualified me to be able to recognize somebody in pain or someone who's been in an abusive relationship. My body's always been healthy, but I understand the imbalance of breast cancer and where that comes from. And so, why did you get cancer? What's going on? You work with your MD. We can help you here. And I want to make sure that never comes back.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's heal it at that level. So it's I've got people that I see here that have come here for years as they continue to grow and evolve.
I bet that's fascinating
And
watching
because
their journey.
they know every time they come back here, there's something new for them at Compass Rose.
Yeah, because you're evolving.
And they like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Do you want to talk? I know you've got lots going on at Compass Rose. Are there aspects that you want to talk about?
I'm really, really pleased for the guidance that I'm getting and the instruction that I wait for. It arrives, and the mentoring programs that we're doing. That's really important. As important is the biocharger that's here. The biocharger, and I don't think you've experienced that yet, have you?
I haven't yet, no.
The biocharger came to me really through Saint Germain. He wanted that here. An ascended master who works closely with Compass Rose and with me and with Dan as well. That is a device. It's a, oh boy, I cannot claim anything medical about it, but it's Tesla's coil. It's Nikola Tesla's coil, and it brings the body into homeostasis. So I may be working with somebody who's working through an addiction to alcohol, and we're going to treat the liver. I may be working with somebody who's experiencing grief or PTSD, and through this biocharger device, and I have two here because they have just served so many people so fast, we can work with acute injuries, we can work with chronic illness, we can work with the imbalance of cancer.
Wow.
We can work with the mental emotional. We do pop-up meditations here, beginning again in February. So it's a collective group activity, and it's individual. So we are working with people, with women with an imbalance of cancer, and they're working with their MDs, and they're working that route. And this complements that along with the body work that we're doing here. I look forward to seeing a child next week. He's 12, and he is going to be invited to leave school pretty soon because he's got some issues, behavioral issues that are disrupting the class. And my experience with the biocharger is, let's get you on the biocharger. Let's get that parasympathetic and the right and left hemispheres of your brain to work together again.
Nice.
Let me help you ground and bring you all the way into your body, because it's very possible they're not completely grounded in their body. It could be a birth experience that we want to heal. So I have this passion for young people, and they are the future shade trees for us.
Yeah.
And if I can help a family in any way, I'm going to do that. And it may be with the biocharger, and it will be with what I do. So that's really, really important to me. That's really important to me that we're doing that here now.
Yeah.
Continuing to help people find their purpose, define and support and empower that, help them to develop their intuitive nature. We're all intuitive. We just kind of buried it. We're working off of a rundown AA battery when we could be running cable. So, and there's other programs that we'll be bringing in here very soon, but I want to make sure that I am ready to do that. I want to build the plane before I fly it, so to speak.
Yeah.
What a very dear friend of mine would say, who's a wonderful New Earth astrologer. We can talk about her one day. I don't want to fly it. I don't want to build it while I'm flying it. I want to really have it ready to go.
Yeah.
So that I can really assist people in connecting to their guides and their team. Because they're there, Gemma. We're not walking this alone. So back to what you said, I'll figure it out. No. I'm waiting for instruction from my team.
And it's so liberating. Like, get out of our heads, get out of I love that.
It's a natural human response. I mean, that's it. You were raised to be independent, and there's nothing there to help you. It is there to help you. It's the path home.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful way to live.
And about Compass Rose, there's nothing like new age airy fairy about this. You're not going to find tie-dye here. This is all really good foundation for good living. It's a mystery school of life. It's a mystery school of light. And I am going to sit next to somebody or talk with them, and I'm going to ask, well, I'm listening for guidance. What would you have me know here?
Yeah.
And that's how I'm going to be able to help that person. I never know.
Well, and you walk into Compass Rose and it's just such a cozy, beautiful space. It's you feel like you've come home, like you really do. And you sit down with you on your couches and just talk for a while. And it definitely just has a very professional, beautiful, crystals everywhere type feel. Obviously, it's why I was drawn there too.
The crystals help.
Yes,
the crystals help, but
pretty things.
But the everywhere. Crystals, those are my tools.
Yeah.
Crystals are living conscious beings.
Yeah.
They're here to assist, and to program a crystal like you would come to understand your higher self through contracts. That crystal is going to work with you and get you what you need. Amazing. So some people will think, I want that crystal because it's going to activate my pineal gland. Well, maybe, but you're going to have to program that crystal so it knows that's how it's going to serve you. It doesn't just because you put it there. So crystals are tools. Yeah, they're tools.
I love them.
I have a lot of them.
Me too. Not quite as many as you probably, but I'll get there. Yeah. I will. Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover today or feeling called to cover today? I know we could have part 2, part 3 of this conversation.
Oh, I would love that. I'd love that very much. I want to encourage people to plan like you haven't got a clue, which opens you up to the possibilities and the potential. It's not irresponsible. It's creative. And we're here to be co-creative beings. We're here to remember. We're here to clean up the residue that's in our field so that we can do this ascension. Is everyone going to ascend in this lifetime? No. It could be several lifetimes of learning and applying and clearing to do that. Ascended masters walked this earth many, 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 many times over before they graduated from Earth School. But begin the journey. Like you don't need to know an outcome. Plan like you don't have a clue, but just be open. Yeah. When a woman came in here and I said, what am I going to do for you? What brings you here? And she said, I have this constant feeling of discontent. She made my day. She absolutely made my day. She's discontent. That's her soul infusing yearning into her. And we confuse yearning for being selfish and entitled. But if people will consider that yearning is coming from where? Oh, that's right. My higher self knows my contract. My higher self knows my purpose. My higher self knows what's going to make me happy. And we are supposed to walk this planet happy.
Yeah, I love
because
that.
With the vibration of happy and joy, we can overcome the very dark and negative energy that's surfacing to be healed, to be released. We do not need to give in to this.
I love it.
Okay, and it's a collective. Yeah. So one beautiful lighthouse at a time. So to be able to attune or to initiate or align to the higher vibrations, to clear and help somebody with their consciousness so that they're lit up and they can go, they got the power to do whatever they want to do.
Fly. Yes.
And it's simple but not easy. It takes work. It takes a lifetime. It takes more than a lifetime sometimes. But it's all doable.
Yeah.
So ask yourself, what is your priority? In present time. So when you are doing what you're called to do, you are that much more powerful for your children.
Yeah.
But you're also assigned the task of raising really good humans. So you've got to find the balance.
Right. And realizing that you don't have to do it all at once, right? You don't, it's a journey, like it is a lifetime, and giving yourself that grace of where have you come from already? What lessons have you learned? How have you implemented it? Okay, keep going forward. Keep learning. Keep hearing the calls.
Keep learning. Yeah. Let your life be your greatest teacher.
Yes. Yes. What a
Let your
beautiful way.
body inform you when you are where you belong or where you don't belong.
Yeah.
Your body is your teacher. And trust me, I'm not drinking, like green tea and, vegan diet. I don't. It's way too late for me to start that. But I know how to treat my body, and I know how to fill it with energy and love it.
Yes.
Regardless of what might go in it, because I do like Baskin Robbins. I'm sorry, it's a thing. Rocky Road.
What a balanced note to end on. Yes,
Oh,
no, that's
yeah.
so good. It is. It's all of the things. Like, you can have your ice cream, but you're also know when she's done, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. Well, I always like to end with, and I know this probably is counter to a little bit what you said, but I like to end with, by my definition of vibrant, which is glowing from the inside out. Are there some other organizations, communities, people in this area specifically, like in our Pacific Northwest, who have inspired you on your journey? Beyond the archangels, like actual.
Honestly, my clients have.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful.
My clients have inspired me.
Let's talk about that actually really quick before we do wrap it up, because I've talked to you a few times. You've lived in several places, but you've talked about really being called to Spokane Valley. Will you expand on that a little bit and why this area is so important and what that's meant for you? I know that's a bigger question than
I don't think, I was assigned to Spokane.
Okay.
I jumped a difficult ship and was able to rebuild, and everything that I thought I had lost was immediately restored to me when I completed the curriculum that I was supposed to learn in that situation.
Amazing.
And this was the place where the contract could be fulfilled, where the ascended master realm, the angelic realm, could work through me with the skills and the work history that I have. I was a consultant for years. I know how to set up a business and a practice and to build and retain.
Right.
So I could build a business that had the foundation of a corporation. So I was assigned here and probably agreed to it a long time ago. So I'll take some of the, it's not all them. I'm here because I said I would. I would have loved Kauai. That would have been good. That would have been good. Spokane needed light. And I am strong enough. And one of the things that Saint Germain said to me, you have been given this task because you have proven yourself capable. Wow. I'm strong enough, experienced enough, creative enough. I had the ways and the means and the support to create a holistic practice here. And trust me, I had enough people trying to take it down early. This area needed light. And so I had help. So was it a dark place? No. It's just, it was ready to go to the realm of the light.
Love it. Wow.
And so I could do that. And that's why I'm in Spokane. I'm very, very close to the golden city called Shalaha. There are 5 golden cities in the US, more in North America, but I'm just very, very close to this golden city. And there's a reason for that. And I am waiting for instruction and a little bit of detail on that. And it'll come very, very soon. I put that out there. But I'm supposed to be here, Gemma. And I accept that. And am I physically grounded here? Yes. Am I spiritually placed here? Absolutely. Am I grateful every day? Every day. Every single day.
I love that.
Because what I'm able to do and to live here, a lot of people have strived to do. And I know that. And COVID set a lot of us back. And fortunately, I was able to still go on during that time because it's not I, it's we.
Yeah, well said. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Mm-hmm. Well, Stacia, this has been such a lovely conversation. I'm excited to get feedback too and see where we should take the next one, where people are feeling more curious. And I just hope this is inspiring and empowering and liberating for a lot of people, that it's not all about them going on their journey alone, but the we for sure.
We are a collective. So individuality, sovereignty, and union. Let's go for that.
Love it. Yes, please. Yes, please. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Gemma.
If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me. Let's ditch the autopilot living to slow down, tune in, reset, and redesign your life to glow from the inside out based on the beautiful being who you are, what matters to you, and how you want to dance through this life. I help you understand your self-sabotaging ways, programmed thinking, and tendencies to outsource your power, and reshape them to align with the true you for this chapter of your life. To join me in a complimentary coaching session, go to my website, www.gemmaputty.com. Sending all the love, light, and vibrancy. Until next time.